I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the third arc of consciousness, and this is a message from the dragon. Today's message? Visitor from beyond. Yes, dear ones, it sounds mysterious. Visitor from beyond. It will all make sense in a moment. Today's message is, a continuation, so to speak, of the Hoard. Yes, dear ones, in the message regarding the Dragon's Hoard, we discussed the Dragon's Hoard stories. Dragon's Hoard, his stories. Dragon's Hoard wisdom, knowledge, those gems that can be given back to humanity for upliftment. Yes, dear ones, the Hoard of the Dragon. So often we think of a dragon sitting on a pile of coins and treasures. This real, true hoard, this wonderful treasure, the stories of humanity, the stories of civilizations on this your Gaia, the stories of civilizations across the heavens, the stars. Yes, dear ones, I am a cosmic dragon, and my stories go far beyond this beautiful gem of a blue planet here. Indeed, my stories are heard far across the cosmos. And today we will remind humanity that they have been helped so many times by those who love you. Yes, you, the humans here, many of you star seeds, many light workers, all of you light workers listening to this, dear ones, you have been in many of these other star systems. However, now you are focused on this your mission here, the ascension of this your Gaia. Yes, dear ones, and you have done fabulously well, better than expected, so to speak. And it has been rough duty, we shall say. Well, dear ones, a great deal of help is arriving right now. Yes, dear ones, one of the main purposes of dragons is to guide and uplift humanity, guide and uplift individuals, help those who are feeling small to remember their greatness in a non-egotistical, beautiful way. And there is great help for this your world right now. Yes, dear ones, now there is, shall we say, a gift from the dragons. We will call this a gift from many different beings who love you. Yes, dear ones, Pleiadian beings, Andromedan beings, and chief amongst the Andromedan beings being the Andromedan dragons. Yes, dear ones, the dragon energies are very prominent and strong in the Andromeda galaxy, in the Andromeda star system, which is simply a gateway to that galaxy from here. Dear ones, this help is indeed a very large object. You have heard of this object that is seen coming into your star system, coming into this neighborhood of planets, we shall say. It is a very inelegant name. Your objects are always named by very, shall we say, mathematically inclined and technical people, usually the ones that wear the horn-rimmed glasses, but we shall leave that aside. This one is named 3-Eye Atlas, depending on who you ask. And, dear ones, this object, we are going to name it. It is Andronov. Andronov is a gift from the dragons. We have jealously guarded the stories of many, many star systems, countless star systems. And we have what you might call a traveling storyteller. very much like a librarian who just goes on the road with many, many, many records in tow, and then sets up a beautiful camp and invites those who wish to hear the most important stories they've ever heard to come and listen. Yes, dear ones, this so-called object is indeed of the dragon energies. You might even say there is a dragon embedded in it. And Andronov is one of the foremost storytellers coming here to assist at this time when this your Gaia, your civilization, this human flourishing has a case of, shall we say, amnesia. The Dark Ages have, shall we say, covered up much of your knowledge, much of your wisdom, much of your stories. Beautiful stories worth retelling, worth remembering, worth celebrating. And dear ones, as this beautiful storyteller from the stars grows near, it has already contacted many beings here on this your world. Yes, dear ones, the storyteller is already telling stories. And as we reach, shall we say, the height of the festival, the storytelling marathon that is beginning, this object, so to speak, will be very near your earth, your world, your Gaia, and there are already many, many energies passing back and forth. You might think of them as rivers of energy that are streaming back and forth, for this Andronov is gathering stories up from this world, the newer stories. Yes, dear ones, this is not the first visit of this storytelling being, and you now have an exchange of beautiful stories being uploaded, so to speak, to this beautiful library of stories, and at the same time a filling in of the missing information. Yes, dear ones, all of your knowledge from the Library of Alexandria, the libraries of your Atlantis, the crystalline libraries of your Lemuria, any that have been buried, lost, scattered, or covered up, shall we say, are being restored now at this time. Yes, dear ones, you will hear many beautiful stories being told that are not fiction, they are not fantasy, they are remembrances coming out of so many of you who are tuning in at this time. And each and every one of you is capable of tuning in to Andronov. Yes, dear ones, you are capable of downloading your own beautiful, illustrious stories. Yes, stories of your so-called past lives, stories of civilizations that have not seen the light of day here on this your Gaia for thousands, even millions of years. Yes, dear ones, your records are being restored. This is a great gift from the stars, from your Andromedan dragons, from your Andromedan star beings, your families, from the Pleiadians. Yes, there is great assistance coming from the Lyrans, from the Arcturians, and there is a joyous celebration going up as these beautiful pageants and stories and records of old are returned to their rightful home. This is a time you should be celebrating, dear ones. It is a beautiful time. There will be dreams that will be flowing through your dreamscapes. There will be daydreams, visions. You will have, you might call them psychic understandings. You might call them sudden intuitions, inspirations, epiphanies. Dear ones, these are all your own stories returning to you. At this time, The dragons are acutely aware of what is going on this your Gaia. There are cosmic dragons such as this one. There are, we'll call them terrestrial dragons. Some may call them elemental dragons. Your beautiful lores and mythology speak of fire dragons and earth dragons and air dragons and water dragons and different colored dragons and rainbow dragons. You are now being given great gifts by the dragons. Yes, we are here. Our wings are shimmering and glittering. These are the love-based dragons. These are the benevolent dragons who have guided humanity since times of old. These are your guides, your loving, you might say, teachers. You might say guides. You might say that they are just here to help remind you of your grand stories, your greatness, your illustrious history. Yes, dear ones, do not be afraid of this your C3 Atlas Andronov. Do not be afraid. There is no invasion force coming unless you consider the return of knowledge to be an invasion. No, dear ones, this is a great gift, the greatest treasure you can imagine as a species, as a civilization, as a world. Dear ones, you are being given this kingly cosmic gift. Celebrate this, dear ones. Between now and your months of November and December, the rivers of information are growing stronger and stronger. It is not a trickle. It is already quite a strong flow. And yes, dear ones, these energies will be flowing back and forth in ways that I will describe in the next message. For there are ways that you can accelerate your remembrance if you so desire. That is enough for this message. I am Jadon Se, deeply celebrating and in love with the stories of humanity that are being returned right now.